I guess I was part of the era where the AIDS plague brought a face to gay people in America and across the world, a human face of suffering and of joy. And I think that was the greatest gift this plague gave us, was visibility and respect. And it came at the cost of untold pain and sorrow, you know, that I carry with me. It's just below the surface of my skin. I'm a Wiccan high priest, and I've led covens and taught craft and magic and been something of a minister to my tribe. And so I was the one who would go to the hospital and hold their hands and anoint them with oil and give them last rites and be with them on their journey through the portal to the next world and counsel and console their family and friends and deal with the fallout from dysfunctional family. I knew all the people I was ministering to. They were my lovers and my friends, and lovers of my friends and friends of my lovers. And so I grieved terribly for each and every one of them. I did countless memorial services. I, like many other long-term survivors, really suffer from a PTSD, you know. The thing that keeps me going is committing to life now and joy in this moment every day. You know, and I look back at this remarkable journey. I've lost 2 life partners and 3 score of close companions and lovers, and witnessed the incredible devastation. I mean, this fledgling gay liberation movement that started in the 70s and blossomed was all but crushed and devastated. By the time I met my second partner, Stephen, in the early 90s, when we got together, we felt that we were already pillars standing amidst the ruins of our devastated tribe. The part of the community that participates in bathhouses had, you know, these rowdy, raucous, angry debates about the closure of the bathhouses. You know, people felt their freedoms were being taken away. You know, we were under assault. The leather community as a whole, which was just blossoming, was suffering this huge setback. We had to defend our practices, our beliefs. We had to defend and fight off. You know, at first the CDC and the local health departments were saying, oh, fisting is a terribly dangerous activity. Well, it turns out, no, that's not really true. In fact, in terms of transmission, it's actually easier to be safer with fisting than with many other practices. So there was all this misinformation. So we were educating each other and trying to get the word out and trying to continue being who we were, not go back into the closet and shut down. And there was no response from the government. There was no compassion. There was no alarm except among ourselves. It felt like, to me, it felt like we were being singled out. You know, it was easy to feel paranoid, like, well, nobody cares about the queers and faggots. They're glad to see us go. And that developed a sense of belonging and community and caring for one another and being our only support group. We became our own advocates. We became the ones to take care of each other, to feed each other, to go shopping. You know, the gay women certainly stepped up and shone through that period, and all of those who lived through it, you know. Our lives were all about taking care of each other and standing up for each other. And it did feel like we were an army under siege. As gayness became visible, all the various permutations became more visible. And those people who had trod the straight and narrow were just like straight people, except for the gender of our partners. Those people were still in a big closet, and the rest of us were shattering the walls of their closet. And so there was, great conflict and gnashing of teeth between, you people make us look bad. And it's like, no, you're not going to get to hold us back. It's like, who were the people that stood up and did the fundraisers and did the outreach? The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, the leather title holders, all the kinky, queer, crazy groups were the ones who were massing together and responding. It wasn't the twinks in the dance hall bars, who were vodka soaked. They weren't so much a part of the solution. It was the strong and proud, kinky, queer leathermen and women. I've lived over half my life with HIV, and I try not to let this disease define who I am. It has certainly painted the backdrop, the topography of my entire adult life. I've learned on the one hand, we have to work for tomorrow, and on the other hand, we have to live for today. How do you plan that you might die tomorrow and you might die 20 years from now? How do you live your life? You make sure that you have joy in every day. You make sure that you have human connection, that you're being real, and that you aren't wasting these precious moments, since we all never know how much time we have. As horrible as it was, AIDS brought us together. AIDS made us strong. AIDS gave us this platform to stand up and fight for ourselves and for our lives. And, I wish that the young people could understand that. I know that we can't keep bashing them over the head with our horror stories, but they need to appreciate, these rights that you have. We died to get those rights to you. We went through those awful times in order to have this. And without that fight and that struggle and that pain and sorrow and loss, you wouldn't have this. What I hope for in the future of the leather community is to reform from the fragmentation of these last couple of decades, which have splintered into so many different groups. The patriarchy marginalizes us by putting us into little boxes and pitting us against one another. And our biggest challenge now is to rise above this bickering and work together to, especially I feel it's important that we recognize and respect each other's differences and honor them, and not be striving for this bland sameness, that the diversity is our strength, but only by honoring and respecting all the different pieces of that, especially the pieces that you aren't part of. Your community is made up of people who are very different from you.